How to be happy at midlife. Midlife can be one of those times where you feel lost. You're not as young as you used to be. You're not quite to the end yet. You're in that middle kind of funny time of life, and it can feel chaotic. So, I want to give you four practical steps to find happiness at midlife. Number one is to go small. It's one of those things that we have to do. You have to bring your life expectations down to size. You have to give up the big dreams, the big salary, the big accomplishments. I'm not saying to give up on life. No, no, no. But I'm just saying you have to simplify things. As I call it, you have to kind of downsize and make things simpler for yourself. So instead of trying to get that corner office, maybe you need to just clean up your own office, the one you currently have. If you are still trying to have that perfect body, it's better that you find a rhythm that works for you. Number two is to find faith once again. This is a time when darkness and, if I can say, demonic influence can get in there at midlife because depression can be high and loneliness. And if you've experienced divorce or a bankruptcy or financial failure, you can deal with some pretty heavy demons. So this is a time to find your faith in a brand new way. That may mean to go to a different church, to go back to church, to one that actually helps you to find people your age. Maybe try a singles church on a Friday night where you can meet people, things that maybe you never thought you would do. If a family, your kids are grown, then maybe it's time to get into a adult Bible study with people your age. It could be that you want to go on retreats with older couples, or maybe you can be a mentor to younger couples. But the key here is to find your faith once again. And then third is to find a new purpose. This is the one that is the hardest for most of us. It took me, I would say, maybe 3-4 years to find my new purpose because, like most, I wanted bigger. And I was close to a few things in the last few years that would have been bigger than before, or maybe as good as before. But I've realized that my purpose has shifted from achievement to compliment. Instead of me being the best one in the room, which is still what's natural for me and feels like I can't give that up, it's more about serving other people. So the other day, for example, I had led worship, which is a great thing because I enjoy being on stage and I can still do that. But then yesterday, no, a couple days ago, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, I was in the back of the room and the kids choir was rehearsing, and the music director said, "Hey, can you bring up Spotify and play some tracks for me?" Now, I thought she was going to ask me to sing, to play the piano for the kids, to be the star. Instead, she said, "Can you play some tracks and press play?" So I did that, and it was fun, and it was okay. And I laughed, and I enjoyed the kids, and everything was fine. My purpose is no longer to just be a star, but also to serve, to be a servant star, to be a humble king. Maybe you're not a star, that's not your thing, but maybe you have always wanted to fix everyone around you, to reform and to bring every kid up to a certain standard. Maybe you have to be more of the person who brings joy to the kids around you and not so much the strict rule follower. Perhaps you're someone who is very loyal, can be a bit of a negative Nancy, can be a bit of someone who is fearful and anxious about what could go wrong. Maybe it's time for you to seek peace and to go to retreats where it's just you and God, you and yourself. Go to solitary retreats, go to the spa, join a yoga club. Do something that is peaceful, take up surfing, or go do something that is just you, and move more towards peace and away from all the negativity and fear and wondering what could go wrong. Finding your purpose is the thing that we all have to do. And I'll close with this. There was a book that I read a while back called The Happiness Curve. And basically, it's a study across cultures, ages, colors, worldwide. And everyone agrees that between 40 and 50 plus is when the happiness curve is the lowest than ever before or after, even lower than at the end of life. And what gets us through this happiness dip is two things. He said is to expect less, to simplify your life. And I guess he also talked about earning less money. I guess it goes with the first one of expecting less. Doesn't sound very fun, but in some ways I have realized that if I expect less of my ego, less of what I want, and more of what God is putting in front of me, more of what other people need, then I am happier. If I look to make less money than I used to, or be okay with the income where I'm at, or if you're not thinking about income, maybe the influence that you have, or the rightness of things, or maybe how much you can really help your kids. If you begin to accept the fact that you can't fix everyone, and that you can love people to do the right thing, that you have to surrender, maybe that's where your happiness truly is. Letting go, surrendering your past, present, and future to God, your life, your marriage if you're married, your kids if you have kids, your future if you're a younger person, to begin to surrender that to God is what brings us happiness at midlife. So that's a little bit of what I've learned. I hope that helps you. If you would like my coaching, please make sure that you email me at trigger@davidtrigger.com, or go to my website, davidtrigger.com, and click on coaching. I'd love to help you through some of these midlife happiness challenges that we're facing. Thanks again for being here, and I'll see you next time. Adios.